Hi everybody, Bill Knutson here, New York Sports with an attitude. Well, what do I say about today's game? Ended a little bit over an hour ago. Absolutely pathetic. We go down 9-0. Absolutely horrible. Got shut out last night. Base runners left and right, leadoff hitters all over the place, runners in scoring position, never a timely hit. We're used to that. And today, the offense didn't even show up. Perfect game thrown against us for 6 innings. Only ended up with 2 base runners. 2 hits, three base runners. The first 2 base runners got taken out on double plays, of course, because we're double play machines. 2 hits. And not the first one not till the 7th inning. So I have a question. Is it football season yet? See me wearing my New York Giants. Giants were horrible last year, but we got a lot of things that make it seem like it could be exciting for the Giants. I'm not picking them for the Super Bowl just yet, but like I've said, as the season goes on, the summer, as the Mets just get more and more pathetic, I'll start to talk about fantasy football, Giants, Jets, all that kind of stuff. All right, today, in terms of pitching, went exactly as I knew. I knew we were going to lose this game as soon as they announced that Flexen was the starter. I knew it. The game was over. I said last night, Flexen's going to do exactly what I expected him to do. He was absolutely batting practice. First 3 batters of the game. Base hit, walk, 3-run homer. Game was over long before the Mets came up, before an out was even recorded. This game was over. 3-0 in the first. I knew they were going to keep Flexen in a couple of more innings. He wasn't going to stop it at 3. Of course he didn't. He gave up 2 more runs. 5 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, 1 hit by pitch in 3 innings. What I don't understand, this guy has been absolutely horrific in Triple-A since he's been there. Horrible in Triple-A. So geniuses say, well, he's absolutely horrible in Triple-A. Why don't we promote him to the major leagues and expect different results? Only stupid people do that. You see horrible over and over and over and over again, and you expect something different. How do you get promoted when you're absolutely horrible at the lower level? So now his ERA in the major leagues this year is over 12. I could do that, as I've said before. I don't get it. So they're going to send him down because you can make a couple of transactions and you can actually add a 26th player for a doubleheader, and the Mets are playing a doubleheader against the Phillies tomorrow. So I don't get it. As soon as I heard Flexen was pitching, that's how I knew after we won with the great Bautista home run Friday night, we had to win last night's game or we were going to lose another series. Mats was okay. We didn't get the win, and I knew we were going to lose today. Because Tampa Bay had another good pitcher. Our offense stinks. We're the worst hitting team with runners in scoring position. We're the worst hitting team, period, in terms of average. And nobody in the National League has scored fewer runs than the Mets. So we're absolutely pathetic. So we had no chance today, and I knew it. Game went kind of the way I figured. I wasn't predicting we'd get perfect gamed for the first 6 innings. No. But was I surprised Tampa Bay got 9 runs? No. I would have been surprised if they didn't. Because, like I said last night, Flexen was going to be batting practice. And Syndergaard is supposedly pitching a game for the Brooklyn Cyclones today, and he may be back next weekend. That's a big help, obviously. Because then we'll have 2 starters we can count on, of course, the great DeGrom. And Vargas is supposedly coming back. Vargas is a left-handed Flexen. Batting practice stinks. But keep bringing these guys up that are horrible. I'd rather have guys up, I don't care if they're in Double-A. If they're doing well, bring them to the major leagues. What's the difference? We're bringing up all these horrible guys anyway. So what does it matter? Tomorrow, got a doubleheader. Phillies are coming into town. Okay, I'll get to that in a minute. But, now we're 3-17 in our last 20 home games. 3-17. Team batting average, 180. 180 with 2 runs scored per game. Wow. Just absolutely horrific. We've gotten some decent pitching during that. Obviously, every DeGrom, game is great. We've got some decent starting pitching. The bullpen's, terrible for the most part every game. Batting average of 180, 2 runs a game in the last 20 home games, 3-17. Absolutely horrible. And of course, after Flexen left, we're down 5-0 after 3 innings. Game was completely over, but Beck comes in, pitches 3 innings, gives up 2 more runs. Seawald came in, gave up a home run to the first batter he faced, gave up 2 runs. Just absolutely horrible. And I heard Gary Cohen say during the telecast, yeah, none of the front line guys are going to come into the game because it's already a lost cause today. What front line relievers? We don't have any. They're calling Familia a the front line reliever, excuse me. I'm certainly not. So I don't know what front line. I'm having trouble with that line today. Front line relievers he is referring to. We don't, none. I like this kid, Bachelor, though. Came in, granted it was a 7 or 8-0, whatever it was then. Came in, looks the part, has good stuff. The only guy that, was scoreless and good. So how about giving him a shot? Giving him a shot and, with a lead in the 8th inning. We like to blow leads in the 8th inning. That's why this game wasn't nearly as horrible as other games, because this game was over before an out was recorded and way before the Mets came up. But we've lost far worse games than this, blowing 3- and 4-run leads in the 8th inning. We've blown like 5-run leads after 5 innings a few times, So this loss wasn't nearly as horrible as some other losses have been. Just the offense took it to a new level of putrid today. But, pitcher for Tampa Bay, good pitcher. Against our lineup, I was expecting him, just like last night, expecting him to shut us down just like the guy did last night, even though we had a bunch of base runners. We never got the hit that we needed, and he got strikeouts all night long whenever he needed them. And today, same thing. Eovaldi struck out 9 in 7 innings. We never put up a fight. We were never a threat in this game. This game was over long before we even came to bat in the first inning. So we dropped to 35-51. Today was the 4th time that we've gotten no hit or perfect game for at least 6 innings. 4 times that's happened to us already. And this is the 2nd straight shutout for us. And that's the 2nd time this year that we've been shut out 2 games in a row. All 4 of those shutouts were at home, where we're batting just above the Mendoza line of 200 as a team at home for the season. Just absolutely horrible. I don't know what else to say about today. Every pathetic. Oh yeah, actually I do. I have one more thing to say. About fundamentals again. Conforto throwing the ball way over the cutoff man's head. The game was already in the bag by then. It didn't cost us the game or anything like that. But again, fundamentals. You throw a line drive at the cutoff man. And the cutoff man is just that. He decides, or he's told by the catcher or somebody behind him, cut it off, like cut second, cut third, whatever. Or he lets it go. If there's going to be, if he's not told to cut it off, he lets it go for a play at the plate or third base or whatever. Conforto, throws it way over the cutoff man's head. No fundamentals. Trying to be a superstar, which you're not, by the way. I know Nimmo misjudged the fly ball. He took a step or 2 back, and it was, I guess he thought it was going deeper than it did. And then he had a charge in, and it dropped in for a base hit. Dominic Smith, fly ball to left center. I don't know if he misjudged it. He was just too slow. I don't know what it was. Ended up an RBI double. Any other left fielder that's even somewhat decent would have caught the ball. So he has no business being out in left field. Don't get me started on Dominic Smith. I know he's young and everything, but I'm done with him. Tired of him. But it was just an all-around horrible game. Didn't show up. But, doubleheader with the Phillies tomorrow. We have Oswalt, more batting practice, in the first game, I think. And Wheeler in the second game. You never know what you're going to get from Wheeler. He's been better. the last handful of starts or whatever, he's been better. But you never know what you're going to get. So we have a batting practice pitcher and one that's totally inconsistent tomorrow. It's a doubleheader, 4 o'clock against the Phillies. And the Phillies have their top two in Nola and Eflin, who have been great all year. And what's to say they won't be tomorrow? I have no reason to think both of them won't dominate the Mets lineup, because our lineup is horrible. So we've got a no good pitcher and a totally inconsistent one against two great ones. So the pitching matchup is monstrously in favor of Philadelphia. So is the lineup monstrously in favor of Philadelphia. All the momentum totally in favor of Philadelphia. Could be very ugly at Citi Field. Doubleheader tomorrow, 4 o'clock. I'll be watching, but I'm not expecting any good news whatsoever. This shirt says it all. Are we ready for some football? Because I am. Love the Mets. Still going to watch them, but they're horrific. And hopefully we will make all the right moves during the month of July, so 2019 will have some hope. I hope so. But anyway, we dropped to 35-51, 16 games under. Right back to the worst we've been all year, 16 games under. And like I said, doubleheader tomorrow. Huge advantage, both games to the Phillies. But, they don't play the game on paper. Hopefully a miracle will happen. But anyway, that's all I've got for this evening. The tragedy that was today's game ended about an hour and a half ago. Well, subscribe to the show. Catch up on other shows. If you're watching, make sure you subscribe. Get other people to subscribe. I'll be on just about every day, depending on what the Mets are doing and what other news is coming on. And in closing, have a great night tonight. Have a great day tomorrow. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.